Howdy, folks. Howdy. Howdy, folks. Howdy, howdy, howdy. I'm Black Dragon, and welcome to Black Dragon Biker News Network, biker news you can trust. And as always, I'd like to thank you all for tuning in from wherever it is in the world that you happen to be. And now I have damn T on my white shirt, which means it must go to the cleaners now. Boy, that really sucks, man. Morning! How are y'all, man? It's good to see y'all all. Anyway, looky here, man. It's Monday morning. I hope you guys watched the show last night. For those of you just now tuning in, Black Dragon Biker News, Black Dragon Biker TV. And last night we had the Black Dragons Roundtable, and it was really, really special because I had several presidents on from the mighty Black Sabbath Motorcycle Club Nation. My club brothers came on the show, and man, that was just, that was so impactful. So for those of you who want to know more about my club, make sure to check out last night's video, which we talked about the realities of brotherhood. And we talked about that. And of course, we had Big Bone 1%er on, as well as OG Weasel. So it was really, really, really cool. All right. So go check that out. Like, share, and subscribe. To the channel, and follow us for breaking biker news and information and all kinds of stuff that we do with respect to that. So what we're going to talk about this morning, this is, we've heard a lot about this, where you had the former international president of the Mongols Motorcycle Club, David Santillan. Santillan, maybe. And, we've been following him for a long time, since his rise to the international presidency. And even his rise to the international presidency came under, a lot of criticism. A lot of folks said way back then that they weren't really necessarily impressed with his performance during the Laughlin incident. So he always had a lot of controversy surrounding his name. But towards the end, when his presidency was over, and the way that happened, and we're going to look at that here in a second, this has led to a lot of things going on. So we've followed this for a while. We've even talked about this case a few times. But what I want to talk about this morning with respect to the situation that happened with him is that this could happen to a lot of different motorcycle clubs. I think that the shock of the Twitch 1%er interview, and I think the shock of that has kind of worn off on me, and I'm finding more and more and more that it's I think it's evident that a lot more motorcycle clubs deal with police than we ever may have imagined. And after I come back from this video that we're gonna see, after I come back from this video, I want to talk about some best practices, if you will, about having to deal with law enforcement, since it seems that we're finding out that more and more of these clubs are dealing with law enforcement, or maybe even have law enforcement in it, than maybe we've ever realized. Maybe we've just got the wool pulled over our eyes, or we've got our head stuck in the sand about what's going on. I want to say good morning over there to good afternoon. It's good morning for us, but good afternoon to Chucky Cross Rider over there in Joburg, South Africa. Is Joburg short for Johannesburg? I don't know. You never think of Africa as being chilly. We always think of it as, I always have thought of it as being like, a Tarzan movie. It's just like always hot and all that. But I suppose that they have a winter too. We got to ask Chucky about that and see what that's like. So anyway, we're going to go over here, and I want to say good morning to everybody else. Ant Squirrely, Maximum Overdrive, Papa Renegade, my club brother, Devil. Just good to see everybody over there. So what we're going to do is go here to screen 2. Aha! And we're going to look at, so this happened a couple of weeks ago. And I don't know if the trial is over yet or not, but Mongols Biker Club trial, relationship between the head of the Mongols and retired Montebello officers question. So we've talked about this a little bit. I'm just going to refresh your memory with it as we go into the subject for today's show. Let's
gang was convicted on a pair of federal charges, but now it claimed the head of the group was actually a federal informant, which could lead to a new trial. Eyewitness News Orange County reporter David Gonzalez has more.
Testimony resumed inside an Orange County federal courthouse Wednesday morning for a hearing in which a judge will decide if the Mongols Motorcycle Club will get a new trial after being convicted of conspiracy and racketeering in 2018. Former Mongols President David Santillan continued to testify.
You told me already, I have 1 year. 1 year. He's retiring.
He's accused of being a confidential informant and working with the government during the Mongols trial after his wife Annie shared a June 2021 recorded phone conversation with other members of the biker gang calling him a rat. In the call, David is heard talking about John Cicconne, the lead ATF agent on the case. But Annie testified this week she only did it to get back at her husband for cheating. Today, defense attorney Joe Yanni and David went back and forth over David's relationship with retired Montebello police officer Christopher Cervantes and ATF agent Cicconne.
I believe so. The relationship was just a cordial, respectful relationship, just to keep the peace between us and the club.
The U.S. Attorney's Office asked David whether he is or ever was any sort of informant for the ATF or for any state or federal agency, in which David responded, never.
You have to understand that we have an open communication, him and I. It's a respect thing.
Yanni played a clip from a National Geographic show segment on the Mongols in court as evidence of their relationship. Cicconne says whenever he worked a Mongols event and there was the potential for problems or violence, he would go to David because he's the president of the Mongols and can convey the message to his members. He says their communication was for public safety and showed the Mongols that there was ATF presence at their events. Yanni says they had more than just casual run-ins.
And it was improper. It was an improper line of communication, particularly for law enforcement personnel trying to convict an entity of being a criminal organization.
We will, let's look at this video here as well.
Today, the former leader of the Mongols Motorcycle Club took the witness stand in federal court to deny accusations that he is a confidential informant for the ATF. As Orange County reporter David Gonzalez reports, the accusations first came to light in a secretly recorded video.
You told me already, I have 1 year. 1 year. He's retiring.
A June 2021 recorded phone conversation between Annie Santillan and her husband, David Santillan, is at the center of a federal court hearing where a judge will decide if there's enough evidence for a new trial against the Mongols Motorcycle Club. The Mongols were convicted of racketeering and conspiracy in 2018. David, the club's now former president, is accused of being a confidential informant for the ATF. In the secret recording, David is heard talking to his wife about John Cicconne, the lead ATF agent on the case.
After 1 year, he's done. And he can't protect me. He told me. So we have to have an exit strategy.
Today, Annie testified that she shared the video of the conversation through text messages with other members of the biker gang. She told them David was simply a confidential informant. In other words, he is a rat. But Annie now says her husband was never an informant, and she only said that to get back at him for having an affair at the time. On the witness stand, David also denied the accusations that he was disloyal to the Mongols.
I just spoke the truth, and the truth will prevail.
He says Cicconne had been fair to him and the club over 2 decades. He said he only found out Cicconne was retiring after he ran into him after the trial. David says Mongols defense attorney Joseph Vianney is pushing a false narrative.
He's lining his pockets with the club money, and in the end, I feel I'll be vindicated.
Vianney says the case is moving in the right direction, and he believes they will be able to get a new trial.
Dave has been in an improper relationship with the federal government for a long time.
David,
So let's come on back from that. So, that guy's got his own problems, whether or not that is true. Whatever's going on. Absolutely, there are lots of elements about that just look really horrible. And some elements that could just absolutely be true. I mean, they all say there's nothing worse than the fury of that of a woman scorned. And she absolutely was trying to find a way to get back at her husband for alleged infidelities. And, one of the things, one of the videos one of the things I've often said, especially you'll find that in several of my books, is using the club as a scapegoat to hide infidelities in your marriage or anything like that. One of the things I say is don't lie to your wife and tell her you're out with the club when you're out doing some other dirt. Find someplace else to lie, because what you do is you will create a hatred for the club in your family with your wife and stuff like that. And they will find ways to hurt you and the club. And that's absolutely what she's done. Now, I don't know if that's what's gone on in this case, but I've seen it many, many times before, sitting in the positions that I've sat in the motorcycle club world. So that's a whole different issue, but that's something that some of you guys, especially some of you lover boys, might want to think about, is when you put your club in a bad light, you put such a bad taste in the mouths of your loved one, that they will try to find ways to destroy, if nothing more, destroy the relationship between you and the club. And that's exactly what she wanted to do, and that's exactly what she did. In terms of the club being her nemesis, that's gone. No longer will she ever have to worry about his position or power or relationship or affiliation with the club, and that being a nexus on her marriage. She effectively and efficiently destroyed that shit. Now that she did do. Chucky Crossrider says over there in South Africa, they have a saying, a woman will make you or break you, and or both. So that being aside, it dawns on me that there is some truth potentially to his idea that being involved to some extent, there must be a relationship, especially when you have a motorcycle club that is being so heavily sought after by law enforcement to be destroyed or whatever the case may be. There's a fine line of a relationship that may have to be developed. I mean, if you got a police officer or a sheriff or something that has decided to target your club, and this has happened with us. We had a chapter one time. We had a clubhouse where the police decided to target the clubhouse. So they would do stuff like sit in front of the clubhouse at down the street at 2:00 in the morning when everybody was leaving, and pull over all of our patrons and give everybody a ticket. And if you've had a drink or two, and if the police really wanted to stop DUIs, they really, really could by just basically sitting outside of any nightclub or all of them in a city and basically pulling over all of the drivers that left that nightclub, or even a significant portion of them. I mean, they would effectively shut down a lot of those clubs that are making money. And I've seen it. So in such a case, you may have to go down and talk to the police officer that's in charge, or whatever the case. Man, what do you want? What can we do so that you're not hassling us so much? And in such a case, a relationship is formed. Might not be a good relationship, might be a strained relationship, but cops have had relationships with cops and robbers, cops and criminals, cops and mafia, and cops and biker clubs have had relationships throughout the millennia of the time that there have been both sides. We even saw recently where the police in Texas actually utilized a couple of biker clubs to do what they weren't able to do to these reporters. They wanted to stop reporters in Uvalde from reporting and doing their job. So who better to turn to than some mean looking rough bikers to go and rough up and intimidate the reporters. So in that instance, cops couldn't do it. If a cop had gotten in front of that, had gotten in front of those reporters, they would have had a field day. So what relationship did they put together with that bike club? Hey, we'll look the other way for this or this if you do this or that. I mean, that is something that could have happened. Or maybe the bike club was more than happy to do it for whatever reason, but a relationship then forms. I've scratched your back. Maybe you could look the other way on a few tickets, or whatever the case may be. These things happen. They absolutely happen. And to think that they don't would be silly. So in today's video, I thought to myself, I was like, well, if this kind of stuff happens, is it okay if it's happening for the betterment of the club? One would think, yeah. But if it's happening for the betterment of an individual, then hell no, it's not okay. And so how does a club handle its relationships with a cop? What would be some best practices? I was thinking about how could you do that thing in such a way that it would not explode in your face? And I've come up with these ideas, and of course, anyone can debate me. A lot of people will like these ideas, some people don't. But I think the notion of we don't ever talk to them, period, is really kind of crazy, because they do talk, they do meet, and even if it's for like public safety, even if I need to let you know that we're going to have the ATF in every corner at your event, and you're going to see our guys and we're going to see yours, and even if I just got to let you know to keep the peace. Like I remember the time when you had that the shootout there at Waco, and the cops were so concerned because the narrative was that the cops had really executed bikers, and they were so concerned about the backlash, and they got on every communication level they could to let the clubs know, hey man, this is not the situation. I mean, I never really had seen something like that before, but they were trying not to have dead cops show up all over the place. So there are times when these conversations take place, obviously. And so I was thinking to myself, well, what would be best practices for that? What would be the best practices for trying to deal with that? So the first thing I came up with is a lot of presidents, they in presidents of motorcycle clubs, they get this idea that they are omnipotent beings. I am the only person who can speak for the club, and I'm the only person that can think for the club, and everything resides through me. And if you've got a motorcycle club like that, bro, you are set up for huge failure. You are not looking at the talents and the capabilities of the people around you. You think you're this omnipotent being, and this bites so many presidents in the ass. Because really, the truth of the matter is, a motorcycle club is supposed to be put together by a group of righteous brothers who each contribute. So you have a board, and if you're acting and moving and not including that group of individuals who have been elected in most cases to complement you and build up and work together, if you're moving without those guys, then you're moving the wrong way. You're not doing what clubs are supposed to do, what presidents of clubs are supposed to do. So you having a relationship that your board knows nothing about is, and in the Navy, we had this thing called avoiding even the look of impropriety. So when you were in the Navy and you're in the public, the PRP, which is the, what PRP stand for again? The something reliability, personnel reliability program, I think it's what it stood for. And it was for people that were in the nuclear weapons field and maybe nuclear power. But it's for those of us who dealt with nuclear weapons, and we had these top secret security clearances, and we were on submarines. You had to belong to the PRP program. And what they would do is, they would look at your background, they would look at your credit, they would look and see if you'd ever been arrested, if you've ever been to communist countries, if you had people in your family that were communist or some sort of terrorist or whatever the case may be. Your whole entire background and your whole life was under scrutiny. You couldn't even default on loan payments or anything. All this stuff was watched because you were in charge of or had access to nuclear weapons. And then you had this training that always came about for people that belonged in the PRP, the Personnel Reliability Program. And one of the things that they talked about was even the look of impropriety, that we were to avoid even doing something that would even look like we weren't doing the right thing. Avoiding even the look of impropriety was as important as not being guilty of impropriety itself. In the Navy, they often talked about perception being reality. You are only as good as you are perceived. And having a good reputation in the Navy was just as strong as being good. Having military bearing, looking like a sailor, was just as important as being a great sailor. In fact, you couldn't just be a great sailor. Part of our evaluation was your military bearing. How did you look as a sailor? How did you carry yourself as a sailor, as well as what kind of job you did, how well you knew that job, how well you executed that job. But one was just as important as the other. We expected you to get the job done looking good. Crazy, huh? Get the job done looking like a great sailor, professional, free of even the look of impropriety. Reminds me of one of my favorite movies, Enter the Dragon, when Jim Kelly is facing Mr. Han, and Mr. Han is trying to challenge him and everything. And Mr. Han asked him, well, what are you going to do when the defeat comes, when you're about to get defeated? And Jim Kelly says, when it happens, I won't even know. And he said, well, why is that? And Jim Kelly said, because I'll be too busy looking good. Going to be looking so good, fighting so good. When the defeat comes, I won't even know. Then shortly after, he was killed by Mr. Han. But he sure did look pretty. Avoiding even the look of impropriety is important. And so you cannot carry on a relationship with cops and you're the president of a motorcycle club on your own. You can't go meet with them on your own. You can't have relationships. Well, I would just call the president and tell him that there's no check and balance in that. There's no, it's just your word against whomever. You're going to in this situation, there's nothing but your word against theirs. So you have to include your club. You have to include your brothers. You have to include your board. If you have some kind of a meeting, you've got to come back and the best thing to do is take your sergeant in arms with you. If somebody wants to have a relationship with you that could cause the club to look bad, they need to go through the chain of command. They need to call your sergeant, and your sergeant will put them on the phone and listen. I know clubs that do it this way. I had a recent situation with a 1% club. I reported on a story, and actually more than one, to be honest. And I can remember that the national president wanted to speak to me. But who called me? His sergeant, who was on the phone. The before I spoke to anybody, and this, my God, as I'm thinking about it, it's been several clubs. I want to say damn near every 1% club I've ever talked to. And the first person who calls me is the sergeant. He sets up the so-called meeting. The second person that calls me would be the sergeant, and the VP will be there. And they get everything straight. And then when I finally talk to the national, who's on the phone? Sergeant, and sometimes the sergeant and the VP. And you might even have a couple of other folks on the phone. And you do get to speak to the top dude. You do actually get to talk to him. A lot of times when you're talking to him, the sergeant will cut your ass right off. Hold up. No, we're not going there. Yeah, this is how these things are done, friends. This is how these things are properly communicated. A smart club uses the resources wisely. So you can't get off and be like, well, the National talked to Black Dragon and blah, blah, blah. No, that's not what happened. Oh, the National talked or the president talked to the cop and blah, blah, blah. No, if you're going to if you got to talk to those folks, and there's got to be a relationship, the relationship has to be with the club, not with you. Not with you, the individual. There's no I in MC. There's no me in club. The me's are part of the we's, and we make the MC. You shouldn't be moving on your own. Well, I heard in this conversation he had with his wife, he's screaming, he can't protect me anymore. Me? What? Whoa, I thought this was about the club. Now me, I can't be protected. Why the hell do me, I need to be protected? And I'm going to promise you, it can be tough. Being in a motorcycle club, it's like being in a church. It's like it takes our best efforts to be good for the MC. It takes our best thought patterns, our best practices, our best pursuits, our most honorable thinking to be for the MC at all times, to be like the worker bee in the ant colony. Whoa, are there bees in ant colonies? To be like the worker ant in the ant colony, the worker bee in the worker bee colony, to always be for the MC. I listened to in the phone conversation, I listened to a man in crisis, whining, talking about me, my, I. Somewhere in there was a loss of a focus towards the best interest of the MC at all times. And when you begin to lose that focus, you have to refocus yourself. Oh my goodness, there have been so many times I've been angry with the MC or not at my best or not up to the job. And bro, you got to bring yourself back in focus. So the communication, have the communication proper at all times. If you're going to reach out and you got to talk or whatever the case may be, when you pick up that phone, hey, this is Black Dragon. I got my sergeant at arms on the phone and my VP. Next thing you got to do is you got to report to the club. God dang, so many of these officers think that we live in a bubble up here and the club brothers are down there. And you know, when you have these meetings and stuff and presidential meetings and officer meetings and stuff, and some kind of way those minutes don't make themselves down to the ordinary club member, in my opinion, you're doing the wrong damn thing. Every full patch club brother has the right to know what's going on in the club, what the leadership is doing. I tell you what, if after every one of those meetings he had a club report, which reported the conversation that he talked about, this, that, and the other, backed up by the signature of the sergeant at arms and the national VP or international VP, however things are done, international sergeant at arms, international VP, international secretary, and a report. Boy, but that's too much like right. That's too much like the right thing to do. But you would be like, you'd be blown away at how far that would go in covering your ass. This is a club thing we're doing. Okay, so I had a meeting with Special Agent Cicconne, whatever his name was, and we talked about the fact that the ATF is going to be at the such and such spot where we're going to be. They're going to have cop cars everywhere, blah, 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 blah. So whatever you got going on, you still have a responsibility to inform your men, inform your club. We don't move in vacuums as leaders. We shouldn't be moving in vacuums. Many of us do, but that always comes back to bite you in the rear end. So involve the right people, have the right communication, and do things the right way. Involve even the appearance of impropriety, and refuse to have relationships that are not correct. Make everything you do in the MC transparent. This is hard to do if, like, you are if you are living off the MC's money, and you shouldn't be. As a president, I have a policy. I don't touch MC money. Never. It's for me, it's always the treasurer, the secretary, the business manager. These are the people that touch MC. I don't touch MC money for no reason. I don't even like to count it coming out of the register. I don't even like to do that. And if I'm ever somewhere where I've got to touch the MC's money, I get signatures. I get 2 signatures when I'm turning that money in, and it's always a receipt. These are the things that I believe are important if you've got to deal with something like that. Relationships are important because relationships are how things get done. Relationships can keep the MC out of trouble. Relationships can move the MC safely from one corridor to the next. So this idea that we don't have any contact and we don't have any relationships is crazy. But as Dante Riddle says, you have to carry yourself above and beyond reproach. And the best way to do that is to illuminate your dealings and your movements rather than keeping them quiet and silent. And we talk about it in the book, President's Bible, which I'm looking for mine. Oh, I always keep it near. We talk about it in the book, President's Bible. We talk about unselfishness. Unselfishness is a key leadership trait that is both noticed and valued by others. A leader whose personal climb is widely seen as coming at the expense of others will eventually stall and lose altitude, with the potential unpleasantness that can follow. Conversely, a competent leader who is unselfish, who has the best interest of the organization at heart, and whose employees duly recognize such, will have a level of support that could provide significant advantage in difficult times. The unselfish leader's chances of maintaining altitude and eventually resuming the climb are considerably higher given the strong support of others. So when you put that to an MC, it's the unselfishness. When people see you climb to the top of the MC, stepping on the heads of others and stepping on the backs of others, those people will think of you as being selfish, and you will lose your momentum, and you will lose your climb, and you will fall. These are important things to think about. Part of being transparent is to be unselfish, to not try to hoard as much to yourself as you can, but rather give as much of yourself as you possibly are. Unselfishness. You got me? Always keeping yourself above and beyond reproach. Keeping your relationships transparent. I think those things would go a long way for any club in terms of best practices for if you have to deal with having relationships that could one day come back to bite you in the rear end. If you've kept it all transparent, unselfish, and without the appearance of impropriety, following proper MC protocol when it comes to communication and delivery, you will serve yourself and the MC much better. This is my opinion and my 2 cents. Love to hear your 2 cents in the comment section below. Okay, so I'm looking back through the comments this morning to make sure I get all the comments before I get up out of here. Somebody says Dave's wife has now left him. Yeah, it's hard to maintain a relationship in that kind of a situation, I would think. Let's see. Somebody said there's no way to make an A-ganger look good. That's one of my submarine buddies trying to start trouble, I think. Okay, we saw a familiar attitude when they overran and burned the Branch Davidian compound. What are we talking about there? Am I missing something? That's interesting. Somebody said not to get off the topic, but everybody heard that the Chinese, Iranians, and about 10 other nations are down in Venezuela talking tough? Russians talking about taking back Alaska. Was Alaska ever the Russians? Alaska's a tough place. Yeah, trying to take Alaska, you'd have to deal with Alaskans, and that's a hardy bunch. Let me see. Okay, so I think that's everything. I think I got everybody's comments. Somebody said this: when talking to LEO and the media, there needs to be a mediator that gets things done, but is including the rest of us. Yes, I think that's important. All right, that's it for me today. I know we had a short one, but no need to talk this to death. Let's go to the ticker. The ticker at the bottom. Hit the like button, y'all. Like, share, and subscribe. Like, share, subscribe. We appreciate that. Let's see. You can get Black Dragon Biker TV on Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, Facebook. These are all the places you can get Black Dragon Biker TV, and LinkedIn. So be sure to do that if you would. Order my books: Prospects Bible, Sergeant at Arms Bible, President's Bible, Public Relations Officer's Bible, and Prospects Bible for Women's Motorcycle Clubs, all available on Amazon, Kindle, or blackdragonsgear.com. Now listen, somebody has copied Prospects Bible for Women's Motorcycle Clubs and called it Prospects Bible for Ladies Motorcycle Clubs, and they've basically taken all of my content and rearranged it and put it in the book. It's crazy, but they did do it. So don't whatever you do, don't fall for that book. It reads like a mumbo jumbo. They just took all my words and put them in the book sideways, I guess. I don't know. I guess it made them a little money. And it's just a shame that Amazon hasn't taken that dumb shit down. But hey, everybody's trying to get paid out there as best they can. Join our daily podcast, The Dragon's Lair Motorcycle Chaos, The Dragon's Lair Motorcycle Chaos, wherever you get your podcasts. It is simulcast at the same time that I do this broadcast. You can see it right there, just a simulcast in the way. This symbol right here lets you know that it is recording and doing its thing. So you can go over there and listen to us every day. We'd appreciate that as well. Please join the Discord link, our Discord server. You will find the Discord server where we have a family up there. Here's our Discord server. Let me show it to you real quick. So the link to get on the Discord server is in the description box below. This is the Discord server. This is first place where you go to get the rules and our announcements and any events that are coming up. And then we've got the front porch is where most people will come and hang out. Here's where you go to introduce yourself, and then We have a waiting room for those people that are going to come on and text waiting room. We got a video waiting room. We got a motorcycle club registry. This is called the clubhouse, where people go in and talk about things. And then there's biker memes and biker women. This is where it gets kind of dicey. You know, we can have anything on here we want, so we don't have to follow Facebook or anybody. We can just put any damn pictures we want in here. And we have biker chicks, biker women for actually women who ride motorcycles and clubs. Biker chicks are the little model chickies that we have. And then if your motorcycle club has done a good deed, come to the motorcycle club good deeds area and put it down. We might cover it in the news. Then we have the Black Dragonisms. This is where I speak. Prospects Corner for the prospects. And then the MC Protocol Corner, where you can come and talk about MC Protocol. And then we have prayers for fallen bikers and all kinds of stuff, new buying tips. And then here we have where you can actually talk in the videos. We can actually talk face to face and stuff like that. We've got the biker news portal. All this stuff goes on over here on the Discord channel. So the Discord channel is really, really, really cool. It's run by one of our Black Sabbath followers who's been with us forever. And everybody's on it. Lissa's on it. Everybody's on there. So you guys make sure to go check us out over there. And I come on and I talk to folks, and it's a lot of fun. So check us out on the Discord link. We'd appreciate it. Black Dragon at blacksabbathmc.com. That's how you get a hold of me. Black Dragon at blacksabbathmc.com. There's 2 B's in Sabbath. And if you're interested in advertising on our channel, hit me up. You can call me too at 404-692-0336. Appreciate having you. Listen, if you need help in your motorcycle club activities, hit me up at clarity.fm/black-dragon. clarity.fm/black-dragon. So if you have issues, you need a mediator, or you need to talk to somebody about club issues, you want to learn how to start a motorcycle club, or whatever the case may be, if you want to talk to me, this is the best way to do it. clarity.fm/black-dragon. Okay. That's the ticker work. We've done the ticker work. Okay, so I can turn the ticker off now, right? All right. All right, my friends. That's my 2 cents. Love to hear your 2 cents in the comment section below. I will see you tomorrow morning. We make content daily, Monday through Friday, somewhere about the 10-ish time. And then again, Sunday at 8 p.m., the Black Dragon Roundtable. We had a great roundtable last night. Make sure to go look at our roundtable from last night, or go play the podcast of last night, and I think you'll have a good time. All right, man. I'm still looking for my beautiful Braveheart. So losing my mind. I can't find my dog, and it's really, 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 really got me depressed. I can't even tell you how deep the depression is, but if you can imagine losing something you love as much as life itself, then you can imagine that my heart is broken, because my Braveheart is not with me. And I want to weep right now, even as we speak today. I miss you, baby boy. I miss you, my beautiful dog. I miss you so much. And I hope that you're not dead, and that you're somewhere and you're being well taken care of. And I hope that the dog gods bring us back together again, because you have been special in my life. Just like my previous dog, Hope, Magda, Charity, Warrigal, mighty dog of dogs, the benevolent, great, magnificent conqueror, the lion-hearted bunch, the first conquering dog of the tribe of Judah, elect of God, was. You see, I give all my dogs a big, long name because I love them all so much. All right, my friends. Until tomorrow, that's my 2 cents. Love to hear your 2 cents in the comment section below. Thanks for tuning in, and get skinny and get the book. Prepare yourself to take the helm as president of your mighty motorcycle club by delving into the pages of Black Dragon's newest book, The President's Bible, Chronicle 1, Principles of Motorcycle Club Leadership. There you will learn to advance your skills in applying the 14 scientific principles of leadership similar to those taught to officers in the United States Naval Service. Available in hardcover, paperback, and ebook. Get yours today on Amazon, Kindle, or order it at your local bookstore. Order your autographed copy from blackdragonsgear.com. Be the best motorcycle club president you can be. Get the book.